So, what is an RPG? This is a question that I've seen bounced around the internet for years, but I can never really find an answer to the question. Mainly because I don't think there's a correct answer to the question, since in many cases, it's a very personal decision. So, in the comment section, answer this question. It's a two-part question. If you were going to pick two games that represent the RPG genre, what would those games be and why did you pick those games? I think the first part is going to be pretty easy for most people, but the key thing here is the second part. I'm sure the answers in the comment section of why those games represent the RPG genre will vary. Sometimes greatly based on the type of games they play and the age of the person answering the question. I grew up playing Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, Dark Sun and Lands of Lore, back when the RPG genre had a very distinct look. Back then, I'd say that most people would agree with this particular definition. A story-based game that gave the player control to modify a character's progression by a certain degree, normally in a medieval fantasy atmosphere that did not require fast reflex action, but more of a tactical strategy or dialogue to complete quests. Yet, over the years, that definition has gotten more and more blurred. A big example, Skyrim. One of the largest and most played games of all time. Love it, hate it, meme it, it doesn't matter. I would dare say that most people consider Skyrim an RPG, while there are some out there that would consider it an action-adventure game. Yet, if you look at the makeshift definition I stated earlier, it doesn't really check all those boxes. There's really no tactical strategy in combat. It totally can rely on twitch action to complete most quests. Yet, if you go back in time just a little bit to games like Morrowind and Daggerfall, most fans of the Elder Scrolls series would claim that it too was an RPG. If anything, it's the definition of RPG to some. What about the original Deus Ex, Vampire the Masquerade, Alundra, Grandia, Monster Hunter, Elden Ring, Mass Effect, Horizon Zero Dawn, Borderlands? I could keep going. None of them really fit the definition that I grew up with, yet they all touch a part of it. So what is the right answer? Is there one? Should the debate of what constitutes an RPG even be a thing anymore? Should the subgenres of RPG be considered the real genre? Since ARPGs, JRPGs, CRPGs, SRPGs, and the rest have a very distinct style, yet all have touchstones that link them together, albeit very loosely depending on the game. I personally think that this should be the correct approach when thinking about the RPG genre for the near future. The term RPG itself is no longer a genre. The genre is the type of RPG it is. RPG is now a feature set that is shared amongst various genres, a floating style, you might say, since RPG elements can be inserted into games that most would not consider an RPG at all. Games like Call of Duty multiplayer have a leveling system, unlocks, perks, and progression, which are all the tenets of the RPG, but I would highly suspect that the vast majority of people out there will never call Call of Duty an RPG. Yet, this is just my short analysis and thoughts on the subject. Since things evolve over time and how things are approached can change very quickly, in the end, it's all about the enjoyment we get when playing these games, and most importantly, the memories they give us. And as always, thank you for being awesome.